So this is the review sheet that you did, hopefully in class, and this is the review sheet that all the classes got, but I'm giving you one just that I will make just for you guys at the same time. So let's start with this one, and let me just get my pen ready. So first, what would you do here? So here's an equation. I'm going to rewrite it. So it's 2x plus 8 equals negative 20. So if you did your story, you have a variable x, which is being multiplied by 2 plus 8, and it equals negative 20. So it's going to tell you to do first. The first thing to do is the first inverse operation you're going to do is minus 8 and then divide by 2. So again, so we're going to do minus 8 on both sides.
Miss Mayrose, please call the main office. Miss Mayrose, please call the main office.
Subtract it. Negative 8 on both sides, right? And I got negative 28 and then 2x, because these go away, right? And I got negative 28. And then after that, then I divide. No, actually, that's incorrect. So I subtract the negative 8, and I'm going to write from both sides. And I got 2x equals negative 28, so I'm just going to write it on the side. Then I divided both sides by 2, and I'm going to show it over here. If I divide both sides by 2, x equals negative 14, and I got x equals negative 14. I don't know what that is, but that's it. Okay. Second problem is the same thing. First thing I did, so I'm gonna rewrite it. It's 12 parentheses x minus 20 equals negative 48. First I did the distributive property. And I'm going to write that I got 12x minus 240, right, equals negative 48. And I guess you can write this, and I got this. Sorry, 48. Right, distributive property happens over here. Then from here, we know we can do our story, and our story is going to tell us that there's a variable x which is being multiplied by 2, subtract negative 40, gives you negative 48. So the inverse operation, we're going to do plus 240 and then divide by 12. So that's what you write. Then I added, right? Then you add 240 to both sides. So plus 240, I'm going to do plus 240 over here. So these two go away, I get 12x, and then on this side, 240, it's going to be 192, right? So if you subtract 240 minus 48, you get 192, and got 12x equals 192. Then I divided both sides by 12. So 192 divided by 12. So I'm going to divide this by 12, divide this by 12. These two simplify to 1, and x equals 16. And I got x equals 16. All right. We're not checking here, because it doesn't ask us to check, but that's what I expected you to write. So first here, so I'm going to just write a little bit bigger. Negative 5y plus 8y minus 6 equals 12. I combine like terms. And I combine these two because they're both y. And negative 5y plus 8y is 3y. And then minus 6 we don't, because it's not like terms. Minus 6 equals 12. And got negative 3y minus 6 equals 12. And then from here on is that story again, right? I mean, your chart that you're going to use. Here's a variable y, which is being multiplied by 3, subtract 6, gives you 12. So we're going to use the inverse operation of subtraction, which is addition. So we're going to add 6 and divide by 3. So add 6 to both sides. If we add 6 to both sides, we're going to get 3y equals 18. And I got 3y equals 18. That's going to write over here. Oops, I got that. Then, oops. I forgot. Then I added I added 6 to both sides, right? Both sides. And then I got 3y equals 18. And the next thing we do is divide this by 3 and divide this by 3. And then I divided both sides by 3. And I got y equals 6. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 1 times y is just y. So that's my final answer. Okay. Write an equation or inequality, then solve. So there's 331 students on the bus trip, and there were 6 bus fills. And 7 students with cars. So what do I know? I know that the total number of students here is 331. I know there were 6 buses, and how many students per bus? I don't know. So I'm going to write 6b. So 6 times however many people in each bus plus 7 equals 331. So how many buses do we? How many? What do you call? How many kids per bus, right? So minus 7. We're going to do this straight away. Then we get 6b equals 324. I'm going to divide both sides by 6. Divide this by 6. Divide this by 6. And we know that each bus had 54 students. Okay, probably one of those big coach buses. Aliyah had $24 to spend on 7 pencils. After buying them, she had $10. How much did she spend? How much did each pencil cost? Okay, so she had $20. So she bought 7 pencils. I don't know the price. I'm gonna write 7p per pencil, right? $7 per pencil plus the $10 that she had remaining will equal what she originally had, which is 24. So minus 10, cross this out. We're going to have 7p equals 14. Divide both sides by 7, and p equals 2. So that means that each pencil was $2. Okay. 6. Samantha won 40 bouncy balls, horseshoes at her school's game night. Later, she gave 2 to each of her friends. She only has 8 remaining. How many friends does she have? Okay, so this whole left side has to equal 40. So what equals 40? Well, the 8 that she had remaining plus she gave 2 to each of her friends. 2 times however many friends she has. So each friend got 2. So that's what we're going to get. 2 times the number of friends, right? 2 balls for each of her friends plus 8 that she had remaining equals 40. So this one again, nice and simple. You can make the story, but I'm pretty sure by now you must be tired of me doing that. So these go away. I have 2f equals 32. Divide both sides by 2, and f equals 16. So how many friends does she have? She has 16 friends. So she had 16 friends. Each of them got 2 balls. And then she had 8 remaining. That's an equation, by the way. 7. Now, I can tell you it's going to be an inequality because it says least amount of sales. So a salesperson, you're paid $50 per week plus $3 per sale. This week you want you're paid to be at least. So let's say you were working here and you want to walk out of there with at least $100 because, I don't know, you want to use it to go out with your friends. So whatever you make has to be greater than 100 or equal to 100. You know you get, you know the store is going to give you $52 for the whole week just by working there. But as an incentive, they also give you a little bit more. So they give you $50 guaranteed, $52 guaranteed per week, plus they'll give you $3 for each sale that you make. So you're calculating this in your head and you're thinking to yourself, how many sales do I have to make so I can walk out of here this week with at least $100, which means greater or equal to 100. Well, let's solve this. Well, same thing. We solve it the same way. We use inverse operation. So we'll do minus 52 on each side. These two go away. I'm going to bring 3s down. It's greater to 100 divided by, subtract minus 52 is 48. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And s is equal to 16. So the number of sales that you have to make, at least you have to make 16 sales this week, so that when you combine that with your $52 that you make, you walk out of there with at least $100. 8. Dominic has $5. Bagels cost 60 cents, and small container cream cheese costs 150. How many bagels can Dominic buy if she also buys one small container cream cheese? So this is an equation. So she has $5. So what's going to equal $5? Well, it's going to be the $1, the cream cheese. So she's buying one cream cheese. Plus, she's going to buy a bunch of, what is she buying? Bagels. A bunch of bagels. Well, that's your equation. $1.50, which represents our cream cheese, plus 60 cents for however many bagels we buy, it's going to equal $5. Well, minus 150, minus 150. That makes sense, right? So 0.60b equals $3.50. So after you pay for the cream cheese, you have $3.50. Now you want to see how many bagels you can buy. And I'm going to divide this by 0.60. Divide this by 0.60. That crosses out. And the number of bagels you can buy with $3.50, if all of them cost 60 cents, result $3.50, sorry, is you can buy 5.833. So as far as full bagels, right, you don't want to buy 5 and a chunk over the next bagel. So the maximum number of bagels in this case is 5. So you're going to have to adjust your answer depending on the question and depending on the context of the story. In the context of the story, you can buy 5 bagels. Nine. Grace earns $7 for each car she washes. She saves $25 for her weekly earning. She always saves $25 for her weekly earning. This week, she wants to save at least $65 in spending money. At least how many cars must she wash? Hang on a second. She earns that. All right, so it doesn't say that she has $25. That she, I don't know why this 25 is here, because my understanding is that she earns $7 for every car that she washes. Okay, and this week instead of 25, she wants to earn $65. So how many cars does she have to wash? So the money that she is going to earn has to be greater or equal to 65. So if you want to, if you're making money washing cars, let's see how many you need to make. So in this case, divide by 7. Divide by 7. This one's easy enough. And we're going to divide. We're going to divide 65 divided by 7. We're going to get 9 point something. So we're going to get 9.28. So it says here that if she wants to walk out of there with $65 this week, she has to wash 9.28 cars. But can you wash 9.28 cars? No, you can't. So you have to wash at least 10 cars. Okay, this one we have to round up. 10. 50 students in 7th grade are trying to raise at least $2,000 for sports supplies. They have raised $750. How much should each student raise in average in order to meet the goal? So they want to raise at least, and again, it's an inequality because so if they want to raise money. So the money they want to raise at least $2,000, so $2,000 or more. So whatever they're earning here, raising has to be $2,000 or more. So they already have $750, right? So now we have 50 kids, and all those kids are collecting money. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna use raise. So 50 kids are raising money. So how much does each kid have to raise in order for them to accomplish their goal of getting at least $2,000? They already have $750. So if each of the 50 collected a certain amount, they would
Please
be
pardon
okay.
this interruption. This is just a reminder for this afternoon. All staff should report to the auditorium at
Minus
3:05
750.
for our training.
Minus
And for the
750.
science department, if we can please meet in room 112 in 5 minutes. Thank you.
So we already have 750, so we don't need to, so we're going to subtract that from 2,000. So our goal, the 50 kids have to get at least 1,250. So if they divide 1,250 divided by 50, right? Divide this by 50, divide this by 50. So the amount each kid has to raise, so if each kid went out there and got $25, they would accomplish a goal of getting 2,000. Okay, so there's 50. And each kid has to do 25. 11. The current temperature in small town is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This is 6 degrees less than twice the temperature that it was 6 hours ago. What was the temperature in small town 6 hours ago? So, where am I? So, this is 6 degrees less than twice the temperature. So 20 degrees is the same thing as 6 degrees less than twice the temperature it was 6 hours ago. So that's our equation. Okay, so this is equal, but remember, this is a turnaround word, so in actuality it's going to be 2t minus 6 equals 20. Add 6 to both sides, you're going to get that 2t equals 26. Divide both sides by 2, and t equals 13. Next one, Amy wants to center her TV that's 2 feet wide on her shelf that's 11.5 feet wide. What? It's 2 feet wide on her shelf that's okay. How much space should be on each side of the TV? Let's center her TV that's 2 feet wide. That's on her shelf that is 11. So you have a shelf that's 11.5 feet wide. You have a TV that's 2 feet wide. How much space? So we want to know how much space is here and how much space is here. So for this one, what do we have to do? So if this is your shelf 11.5 feet across, and you're going to put something 2 feet over here. So if I subtract 11.5, I don't know how to, 11.5 minus 2 feet. Oh, I want to make an equation out of this. Let's do it this way for now. 11.5 minus 2 is going to be 9.5. So 9.5, I'm going to take the 9.5 and divide it by 2 because this area plus this area is going to be 9.5. If I have 9.5, 9.5, and I actually write it as 9.5. 9.5 divided by 9.5. 9.5 divided by 2, I'm going to get 4.75. So this is going to be 4.75, and this is going to be 4.75, right? Because all added up has to be 11. So if I were to make an equation out of this, maybe I'll write that if this is x and this is x, right? I get x plus 2 plus x equals 11.5. Or I can write that 2x plus 2 equals 11.5, which I'm going to change to 11.5. And if you look at this, I subtract 2 from each side. I get 2x, right, because this crosses over, equals 9.5. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And x equals 4.75, which is exactly what I had here. So you might want to write the equation like that if that's where x is being. It's a weird question. 13, text needs to be centered. Okay, again. So you have a page that's 8.5. This whole thing is 8.5. The text that you're actually going to write is going to start over here and go all the way here. Right? You don't actually use the whole thing, right? So that's going to be 5 3/4, which we're going to change to 5.75. I'm going to change this to 8.5, 8.5. So now this little space here is called x, and this little space here is let's go x. So I know that this x plus this x, which is that little space on both sides, plus the blue, which is 5.75, all added up equals 8.5. So I want to combine my terms. I'm going to write the 2x plus 5.75 equals 8.5. And I'd much rather deal with decimals. So minus 5.75 minus 5.75 on both sides. These two go away, and you get 2x equals 8.5 minus 5.75 equals 2.75. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 1.375, what is this, inches. So this little space that we don't use when we're writing right paragraph, 1.375, and this is going to be 1.375. All right, that's how much spacing there will be on both sides. Oh, please tell me I can finish this. Yes, I can. 14, multiple choice, yes. So again, we're buying eggs and potatoes at a store. The total is $25.92. He pays $2.57 for the eggs. And you want to know how much, when you buy five bags of potatoes, how much does each potato bag cost? Now, notice that these equations, or the multiple choice, are not written in the way that we're writing it. So if we were to do it in the way we're doing in class, what equals $25.92? Well, the thing that equals it is the eggs, and I paid $2.57 for the eggs. Plus, what else am I buying? I'm buying 5 bags, and I'll write 5 bags of potatoes, 5 bags of potato. All that equals $25.92. Notice that none of my multiple choices look like this. But think about what we're trying to find. I'm trying to find X or B, right? The cost of the bag of potatoes. So in order to do that, what would you do? Well, to find out, I would take $25.92, and the first thing I would do is subtract the eggs. So I got $25.92. If I subtract the eggs, I'm going to have this much left over. And then this is what I spent on the bag of potatoes. And how many bags of potatoes did I buy? I bought 5. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that and divide it by 5. So the first thing, if you look at the operations here, I had the total, $25.92, which all of them have. And the first thing that we did was minus the eggs, so minus 2.57. So this is okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. And this is adding. You're adding 25.92 plus the eggs? No, that makes no sense. So the only one that makes sense is this. So this says, take the total, subtract the eggs that you bought, and then divide that by 5, which is exactly what we would do to find the cost of each bag. So the answer is A. 15, Josh has a reward card for movie theater. He gets 15 points for becoming a card member and earns 3.5 points to visit the movie theater. He needs at least 55 points to earn a free movie ticket. So I just became a card member. Ta-da! I just earned 15 points. Now, if I want to get to 55 points to get my free movie tickets, I'm going to have to do a few things. So every time I come to the movies, I get 3.5 per movie that I watch. This I got as a bonus. And all that has to be greater or equal to 55. Right? So notice that, again, none of my answers are in this manner, but there are where the 55 is on this side, on the left side, and the 5 plus 3, 5m, 3.5m is on the right side. So let's switch sides. So let's try 55 on that side, and 15 plus 3.5m on the right side. Now, if I switch sides, what should I do with a sign? I should flip it. Well, let's see if there's anything that looks like this. Well, 55 and something that says 15 plus 3.5. If there's anything that says 15 plus 3.5 variable, 15 plus 3.5 variable. Well, this does, but the sign is in the wrong, so this is not it. This one has a variable with a 15, so that's garbage. This one has the variable with a 15, so that's garbage. So it's either between A or B. And if you can tell, A or C. C has the right numbers. 55 less or equal to 15 is by itself, and the 3.5 has a variable. So we want C. 16. A coach of basketball, baseball team order hats. Each hat's $9.95. The shipping is $5. There's no tax. We want the coach. The coach only has 125. What's the maximum number of hats that we can buy? Well, we know we have to pay $9.95 no matter what. Plus, we're gonna pay $5 no matter what, because that's the shipping. So it's 5 plus, that's $5 for the shipping. Plus $9.95 per hat. And I'm gonna write an H of hat. And all that has to be less than 125. Not equal, because it has to be less than 125, because that's what this says. Less than 125. So look for one that looks like that. Well, less than 25, this so far and this one. This is, I'm going to ignore and ignore because that says greater and greater. So now, not even doing anything, I already eliminated 2. So is there anyone that looks like a 5 plus 9.95 H? Well, this one is wrong because it says $5 per hat. It's not that $5 per hat, it's $9.95 per hat. So this one's out as well. Here's your answer. The last one. Miss Hernandez has 100 to spend on parking. The parking will cost 7 and tickets will cost $15.50, including tax. Write an equation to see how many people she can bring to the zoo. Well, equation, so please make sure you have an equal sign. What do I know for sure that I'm going to pay? Well, $7 for the parking plus $15.50 per person. And all that has to equal 100. Right? Because that's an equation. Minus 7. So 1550p equals, and 100 minus 7, it leaves me with $93. Now I know that each ticket is $15.50. Let's see how many tickets I can buy with that much money. So divide by $15.50. Divide by $15.50. These two simplify to p. And $93, which is what I have left over, divided by 15.5 equals 6. So how many people can I bring? 6 people. And that's review 1, I guess. Okay, or review 2. That's it.